Welcome back to my channel, Madden Backlog Series. Today's Madden 25 video is Broken Custom Playbook Feature. Before we get too deep into this, please click the like icon, click the subscribe and notification icon so you will be informed when a new video has been posted. Here we're going to look at my custom playbook in Madden 24. As you can see, for a single back, the first play that comes in is a bunch play. Now see if you notice a pattern as I scroll to my right. Trips, bunch tight end, dice slot, close, tights, tight. Okay? That's the end of my single back plays right there. So at any point I can call this play right here, or let's call this play right here. It really doesn't matter what I call. I can call a random play. Just for the argument's sake, let's say I want to motion my slot receiver. Well, I can go over to just like that. That's simple. And let's say I want to call a play action. Now I've got this play here, and it's not a money play by any means. It's not a money play. The idea behind it is just to have that option to be able to go over there. The other option that you might not realize is the option keeps things in a particular order that you create when you do your playbook. So not only are the single back plays that I want, and remember they only go by the personnel. So even though I have some like wing plays in here, on that formation they won't show up because that's a 12 formation. The same can be said about the gun plays. You have various gun plays in here as well. Now, the beginning of my gun plays will basically be right here. So I can call a play here. It doesn't matter what play I'm calling. And let's say if I wanted to call in a play that brings people in, just to make them think about the idea that somebody's back there possibly. It's not a money play, but it's that option that I have there. I can do that. I can even do things like the same thing I did with that play I can do with some of the plays I have here. I can call a play like this. Let's see. This could be a play that I call. And let's say again, I want to call that play I just called just a second ago. I can go over here and just jump over into my shotgun plays and call the play. And let's say what I want to do is call a different play, not necessarily the same play, because of what I think I can run. So now I have this play set up. And again, not a money play. I possibly could have gave it a little bit more time, but then you might have to worry about interceptions and things like that. The whole idea behind this is order. Okay? You have your plays in the order that you put them in your playbook. Okay, so and remember again, they only appear by the personnel. So when you see other plays that aren't like that wing stack won't appear in there because it's not that personnel. Because that's a 12. If we were to go out of this and quit and let's say go to the playbook itself. And one thing about this that I still don't like is how you have to get all that you have to do to get to this window right here. By now, you should be able to exit out to this window, and it's not very hard to do, rather than having to exit out through all that. You still want that option, but I want the option to exit out of whatever mode I'm in back to the menu. That's how it should work, but in all these years they still haven't done that, and that's it's amazing to me. If you go to Playbooks, and I have a bunch of them, you will see, let's see, single back. Now, here are the audibles. So in the audible screen itself is not going to be in the order of your plays. That's in your playbook. So you see bunch tight end, but you notice you don't see the wide trips, which would come before the dice slide, because this is in alphabetical order. And that's fine. I don't have a problem with that, because I can easily find things because it is in an order that makes sense. If we go to my plays like this, you notice you have your I formation, your shotgun, single back, and stuff like that. Okay? But if you go over here, you have this again, bunch tight end. It's in alphabetical order. It's an order. You get my drift? You go over here, all plays. You look at your formations. You have these are in alphabetical order: full house, FIPS, S. Okay. You go and let's see if we can find all plays in a shotgun. Alphabetical order. Box, my fault. Box, Y off, bunch, and so forth. If I go in the reverse order, you'll see it's Y trips. So now it's starting at the bottom, going backwards. So again, you have order. You know how and where to find certain things. That's how it's been all this time. I appreciate them trying to update the look and feel, the play art, but they didn't necessarily get all of that right in all cases. There are bugs with that as well. But they failed in too many areas that I'm very disappointed about. They have some nice plays in here that kind of are similar to NFL plays. But if I have to search through my book to try to find the play that I want to audible to, or even to just pick the play itself, it's a waste of time. It's very cumbersome, and it should not have fallen backwards like that in a game like this, especially when you've come out with a bundle. Now you're going to break your playbook editor and your play call screen too, because it's not just the custom playbook. Your play call screen is broken as well, because I don't need a custom playbook to show you how it's broken. But the custom playbook helps because you as a gamer can put in the order you want. You're not stuck with an order that's saved by EA. Okay, now we're in Madden 25. We're going to go into Playbooks, and I just want to show you something just so you could understand this a little bit better. You don't have to have a custom playbook to understand where I'm coming from with this. We can go to a playbook that's already set up. Remember how the audibles were at least in alphabetical order. Again, order is the matter here. You may say that the order that you're looking for is within a formation. Let's take a look. I form. We have a S, play, slot, wing. That's going in alphabetical order, but then it goes back to slot flex. So the alphabetical order is broken there. It's broken in the shotgun formation and throughout. If you go to when you're trying to select your plays and you say to yourself, let me get a shotgun play in here I want to set up, or we can even look at the single back formations and we can think of the plays that you saw in the playbook. So remember, wide trips was the first one. So do you see wide trips here? You have to go this direction and you have to find it here. But see, in the other versions, wide trips was right down here where it should be. This is not in any order. How do you revert back to, how do you get rid of or ignore order in the playbook? And I've been pounding EA about order. I've been pounding them about an upgrade to being able to order your plays even more so like you do any other type of application. Once your playbook is put together, I should be able to move play sets around to put them in the order that they should be in. I should be able, whether it be, I don't know if Xbox does drag and drop, whatever it takes. It should be a way where I could put certain plays in order once they are set up. I don't really think it's that difficult. I just think that they don't want to do it because they make so much money, they don't really care. I'm sorry, but that's my opinion. Anytime you have this new interface, which is appreciated, but then you have the game broken. And that's exactly what it is, because without this custom playbook, I can't do the things with the same ease as you saw me do in Madden 24. So if we come back out of here, just briefly, I can go in here. This is the playbook that I'm working with. I started off with. Now, and it has a lot of plays in here for a different reason. But this was the one that was in progress. So I was just trying to experiment with it to see if putting the plays in order, stacked, just for those of you all who are programmers, you all understand how that goes, first in, last out. So that way that order is maintained right there. That's how the other one was done all prior to this. You would put that wide trips play in, then you would stack on top of that the bunch play, you would stack on top of that the bunch tight end, you would stack on top of that the dice play, you would stack onto that, play after play after play. So as you move your audible selection left and right, that moves right along or up and down that stack. So that's an order that you have. You don't have that here. If you go to plays, you go, as I said, with the single back and stuff, you just don't have it. So if I were to go back to the practice, and I will commend EA on one thing about graphics. They, to me, have always done a pretty good job with their graphics or whatever. I think this interface itself is a lot smoother. I still disagree with having to do so many button presses just to get back to, let's say, this screen right here. At some point, they need to address that. I shouldn't have to. I'm in practice mode, and I say, you know what? I want to go and play a game. Why do I have to press the button like 3, 4, and 5 times just to get to a point where I need to be able to decide I want to do a quick play? Most applications of games, you don't have to do that. So we go into team practice. And I'm not saying eliminate being able to backtrack like it does now. What I'm saying is to add a feature to take you completely out into the menu. It really is not hard to do, and it makes way too much sense. So if I go in here and I just say offense only, because I don't really need to do anything else, and I want to choose my playbook, and you'll see that my playbooks come up here. As you can see, different ones that are here. You see the 3 wide receiver gun trips. Those are more like trips and tray open type of plays. That's my 12 offense plays, so just your ace and your ace pair, wings, and all that stuff. This is the 3 wide receiver gun doubles. So your doubles, your spreads, your tights are all in that book right here for me to look at, examine, to see which ones work. And actually the tights are in here, and which ones do not work. This is how I end up finding plays that are broken, to be honest with you. Here's my empty shotgun plays. Same thing. This is the singles, and this is the in progress that I just showed you. So if we go in here, we say that's the one we're going to use. And what I'm going to do, again, because the whole idea was to see if this stacked my plays in the playbook when I was adding them in. I don't want to necessarily go through and from the very beginning and show you the plays being stacked in. I may have recorded it. If I did, I'll insert it somewhere in here, but I'm not sure at this point in time while recording this. So this is the first play that comes in. This was not the first play that I put in, actually. That's not a 3 wide receiver, so it's not that big of a deal. It's when I get to plays like this, bunch, off trips, tight end, wing, trips. These are out of order. This should have been in first. Y off trio should have been in second. My bunch play should have been third in this playbook. Okay, not the other playbook, this playbook. And bunch tight end comes in, and then I would have my dice play. But I could not even get that here. If I go in here just by this, I'm going to go and show you how this would work. I only have one play, so that way I can audible. So if I go to my next play, now here's another bug, just to show it to you. Did you notice? Let me cancel this. Look under audibles. You see single back Y trips, correct? I'm going to right pad. What do you still see there? This is not single back Y trips. But the title says single back Y trips. This is a bug. It's fallen back again. There's a similar bug like this in the substitution screen. The game is broken. Anybody tells you any different, I'm sorry to say it like this and to be so harsh, but they are liars. Okay? You should not have this type of thing occurring in this game. Not when you're trying to push out this big bundle and make even more money with the college game that is more geared towards an arcade game than Madden 25. But this is what you get. So I'm going to choose a play by pressing the Y button. You're going to see the tight end roll out. Now for me, I'm not sure if this play is the way it's supposed to be. I remember before in an earlier version where they would have a tight end out here, out of position. It doesn't even look like a real formation to me because he's so far over to that number. If you look at the number, it's not the same. Look at the tight end. He's so over there by the number. I mean, he's like right next to the number, the age of 30. Look at your A receiver. There's a little bit of gap there. So this is not, to me, a true formation. Like a spread or something like that you're trying to fake your opponent out. So I think that in all reality, he's supposed to be over there off the line like the formation is itself. And he should motion over here and then come back to the halfback and then go in and block. Motion behind the quarterback, then back to towards the halfback, and then they would hike the ball and you would have a block. There's another play that's similar to this that has the same thing. I believe, I can't say for certain, but I believe they're broken plays. Now, you have to ask yourself, well, why didn't the play art match the play then? That's kind of weird. There's a lot of plays in here that the play art doesn't match. That's another issue with this game that has always been there. But if you call up the audible screen right now, look what it says. Single back Y off trio. But look at the motion that it has for the play. It has a slot wide receiver coming over. Now, that's not going to happen. I can tell you that right now. We can run the play and I can show you that. But this is what it shows when you pull up the audible screen. But then when you put it down and pull this up, that's what you see. You're not going to tell me that that's not broken. Again, you're listening to a bunch of people who are just trying to keep their access to EA and the various ads and stuff like that. They're telling you a bunch of nonsense every year. I believe right now the game, for the most part, will peak in about, I'd say, a week or two. If it hasn't already, because I'm seeing a lot of negative stuff out there about this game. But I just wanted you to see that, because if I want to go to my next play, this is the problem that I'm dealing with. And I don't even see the name of the plays, because now everything that's single back is now Y off trio until I get to the single back tights. But this is Y trio, and if I were to show you this play, this is the H zone. Let's see what this is. This is the bunch play. See? I can't make this up, man. I mean, I don't make this stuff up. I'm keeping it real with you. If you want to see the faults of this game and the real or reality of what this game is, you need to follow. you need to subscribe so that you can stay up to speed with this, man, because this game is broken. If you think that this doesn't matter, then you don't understand the whole idea behind custom playbooks. It's not about money plays for me. I can't speak for everybody else. It's about order. It helps me to be able to make decisions and be able to go to a play on a fly that I think is better suited based on what I think the opponent is throwing at me. But if I have to guess what my plays are through this and through incorrect play art on your audible screen, how is that not broken? The game is in about a week from now will have launched. I think it was the 16th or 13th, one of the two. I think the 13th was a 3-day early bird. The 16th, this will more than likely still be there. You're not telling me that this is not an emergency fix? I know they said that they're having to launch the game and will need to fix the custom playbook. Do you remember they did that with the franchise mode? How long has franchise players been waiting for the things they've been asking for? How long did they have to wait for them to even put something together to toss out there? I think it was just before Christmas or somewhere around that time. You buy the game in August. You should not have to wait 3 and 4 months for functionality, basic as this is, to be in the game. Now, there are going to be some people who will say, well, if you don't like the game, then, get a refund. You don't understand how this comes to me with regard to that, as far as a refund. I'm trying to get the community to stop allowing these other channels that are just in EA's pocket. They say the same message when they come out there with that early version of the game. It's basically a non-disclosure agreement, so to speak. They will say certain things, but they cannot say everything. But you know what? It gives them access to EA. That early access. And what does that early access do for them? They get to post videos to gamers, subscribers, and then they get the ads. With the ads comes what? Money. Stop letting them use you. The game is broken. I'll talk to you later. Also, please make sure you help to get the word out by sharing this video. No monetization is involved here. I'll check back with you later.